morning, my brother.
Wow. Anime these days sure are becoming more something, I guess.
関係？一度体の関係持ってしまったけど兄弟になってしまったこと？
Okay, I'm just gonna go watch another one. Hold on, where am I? Oh, that's why. The game we'll take a look today is called Living with Sister Monochrome Fantasy. Upon starting the game, there will be multiple options on the screen for you to choose, and these choices will dictate the starting stats of your character. This game is set in a fantasy world, and you're an adventurer living with your sister. Your dad went out to get milk and never came back, so the house is only for the two of you. You're working in a guild with your guildmates, Kana, Yui, and Yukari. Now, with that in mind, go forth and live out your life with your cute little immortal as an Oni-chan. That's so cringe. If you've played the first game before, which is not available on Steam and only on the outside, you'll have a pretty good understanding of how the game works. If you haven't, you could watch my previous video where I covered the first game, which is what I would say if my channel didn't get obliterated by YouTube. I promise this is the last time I'll bring out my last channel. Anyway, let's start with some of the basics here. Every morning, you head to the guild and either trigger some story events or do various activities to boost your stats. At night, you could interact with your sisters and increase her trust, mood, and such. You could also take a bath to replenish some of your energy, read some books to gain various stats, or work out to boost your stats. In short, everything you do is for two exact purposes: get stronger so they can clear story battles, and bang your sister. One of the things I like a lot compared to the last game is that there's somewhat of a story to follow. Instead of just living a plain life with your sister, there are actual side characters in the game, and they are very likable. Although they do look a lot like your sister, and everyone in this game calls you Oni-chan like it's your name, there's a tomboy sister, healer sister, nerd sister, and Frieren. Insert obligatory Frieren fit scene. Moving on from that, this game actually has somewhat of a combat system. It's not the best, but it's something, that's for sure. Every battle has a certain amount of turns. If you can't beat the enemy within said turns, the winner will be determined by who has the more HP left. Every character has a fixed amount of moves that they can do, and they can no longer act if it runs out, unless you use a skill to refill it back. Every move costs points, and points will regenerate every turn. Battles are the reason for raising your stats, as these battles can get quite tough later on in the game. And if you can't complete the battles before deadline, you get a game over. So in order to progress through the game, you have to balance between raising your stats and getting closer with your little sis. There's a lot that I love about this game, and one of them is definitely the art style. You might think a game in full colors is better than just black and white, and let me tell you why that's not the case. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but I feel like black and white has a more raw feeling than having colors. Like sometimes when you look at a manga panel and a frame for an anime, the manga panel would look better most of the time. Black and white just draws out the detail a lot better in some cases. And in this case, this game looks really good. Especially with its characters. They look so goddamn cute that I want to pinch their cheeks. And the action scenes look incredible as well. The only problem I have is that because of how white this game is, it hurts my eyes a little after playing for too long. It's like having constant Discord live mode on for me. About the gameplay of this game, I have some mixed feelings about it. It's not bad by any means, but there are certainly some problems that will start to surface the more time you put into the game. So, there are two split sections of the game. One where you hang out with your guildmates and do adventure stuff, and one where you live a quiet life with your sister. Both of these are mostly separated and never really interject with each other. Now, there is one major problem with these two sections of this game, which is the pacing. The story events contain a lot of waiting, like waiting for a championship, waiting for a plan, waiting for something to happen, and such. This makes the story events progress at a snail's pace. On the other hand, in the living with sister section of the game, its pacing is entirely up to how you want it to be. You can take it slow, or just speedrun through it and get those nice scenes. I, for example, was going at an okay speed, and I've already maxed out the sister's affection level within 2 to 3 hours. The reason why this is such a huge problem is because the sister living part takes up the majority of this game's gameplay. With how easy and quick it is to increase the trust of your sister, you can unlock everything just halfway into the game. And it creates this mind-numbing gameplay loop of skipping spending time with your sister and going straight to the story events. Oh, there's no story event today? I guess I just have to keep skipping. I always felt so bad because just look at how happy your sister is when you interact with her. Oni-chan, do you want to talk, read books together, or I want to take a bath? Oh, do you want me to join? Wink? No. Welcome back, Oni-chan. Now, do you want some tea? I can make some. I'm going to sleep. It's a shame because I think the game is the most fun when it's in the beginning, where you have dog shit stats, and your sis will always refuse to take a bath with you. You only have this much energy and time for a day, so you really need to think about what you should spend this on. Should I train more so that I will have an easier time with the combats? Or should I try to increase my sister's affection? Every Friday night, you can choose how you want to go about with your lifestyle, such as healthy life, where you need to go to bed earlier than usual, but in return, you regain more energy back. Or frugal life, where your dinner won't cost any money, and you can use that money on somewhere else. I'm not even going to talk about the things that you can do on the weekend. There's just so much that you can do, and you always feel like you're achieving something. In short, the gameplay is good until you reach far enough the point that you've unlocked everything. It was good until it fell off. Now let's put that aside from now. I want to talk about the characters, mainly about one character, the little sister. I'm just gonna be honest, she's just not that great of a character, or there's no character to begin with. I can't name any interesting traits that she has, other than she's cute and gets sick quite often. The fact that she doesn't even have a proper name, and it's just your little sister, is crazy. Well, to be fair, your character is also just a self-insert and doesn't really have a name. Back to the point. I find it really absurd how the side characters are more interesting than your own little sister, who is living under the same roof as you. She barely has any screen time in the story events, and she doesn't have random events like these side characters have that flesh them out a bit. Kana, Yui, Kasumi, Yukari. All of these people feel like characters, while your little sister feels like a pole. I'm not saying that I hate her. That's not the case. She's very adorable. How can I hate her? I just wish she had more personality traits, that is. A small little tangent here. I've realized how similar the gameplay is between the first game and this game, in terms of living with sister part. It looks the same, plays out the same baiting mechanic, peeping, collecting panties, and even the little sister feels like the same person with a different haircut. I'm not complaining or anything, I just feel like I'm playing the same game again. Oh sorry, I meant...
Played these games before!
Enough gapping for now. I'll start talking about the hentai instead. For this video, I'll keep this part of the video as brief as I can, because the age restriction is going to bite my ass if I make it too long. First of all, the art looks amazing. I've already talked about how much I like it, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Second of all, the side characters also have some themes as well. Kinda. It's more like the guy you're playing as was having some sussy dreams about them. On the flip side, there are also 3 problems that I cannot ignore. To start off, every single scene has no voiceovers, no sound effects, and no music. It affects how I feel about these scenes, as I personally want sounds in a hentai game. Next up, the scenes. Especially the one where you do it on the bed, are agonizingly slow. Every action feels like it takes 10 years to complete, and you can't freely control when the guy nuts. So you have to wait for his PP meter to fill up, and it's so slow. Finally, there's too much work just to get to the scene, and again, especially the one on the bed. To initiate the bed scenes, you first have to make sure your sis has a high enough lust, or else she won't agree to do it with you, with consent at least. Then, you have to make sure you have enough time because the scene will end immediately if it's too late. And you also need to have enough lust yourself if you want the option to even appear. This game doesn't have a free play mode, so every time you want to watch a scene, you need to meet this requirement or keep a save file ready because it will surely save you a lot of time. Frankly, I think the scenes in this game are really good. You just have a lot of small things that are pretty annoying, but it's still good nonetheless. I feel like I've given too much shit on this game. Despite all the things that I dislike, I still think this game is really good, and it's one of the best H games ever made. While this game isn't the first to do it, it 100% helped popularize the roommate genre and the black and white aesthetic. The gameplay is fun, even if it did get tedious in the late game. And the story is not masterpiece level or anything, but I really enjoy how chill the entire vibe of the story is. There are stakes, and you could get a game over if you fail some of the story battles. However, it's just an overall pretty light-hearted game with a fun cast of characters. This game is most likely not the kind of game where you spend 10 hours straight to clear it in one go, and you're probably supposed to enjoy it at a slower pace. I'm just speedrunning it to get the footage, so maybe that's why I feel like this game is too slow. In conclusion, I'll give Living with Your Sister Monochrome Fantasy an 8 out of 10. Great incest experience all around. By the way, is it me, or has the incest stuff in anime started to regain popularity? There's like Oshinoko with Aqua and Ruby, and that Russian anime where the side immortal character beats the main girl by pure incest energy. If incest is really back on the menu, maybe one day there will finally be a Yosuga no Sora 2. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I kept talking about incest. I need help, man.